Okay, imagine this.
Yeah.
A place just humming with life, right? Over 140 stores, packed with families every weekend, just the absolute center of things for a community.
Yeah, a real destination.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, picture that same place, maybe 15, 20 years later, silent, overgrown. Honestly, it looks like something out of a zombie movie.
Mm-hmm.
That's the story of Rolling Acres Mall in Akron, Ohio. And today, we're going to really dig into that. How does something so huge, so vibrant, just collapse?
Right.
Okay, let's unpack this.
And it's fascinating, isn't it, how one specific mall, Rolling Acres, can tell us so much about bigger shifts. Economic changes, community habits, how we shop. So our mission here really is to track its path from that grand opening excitement all the way to the wrecking ball.
Yeah.
And pull out what our sources tell us about why. What were the key moments? What drove the change?
And grand is definitely the word for that opening in 75. The sources we looked at, they described these amazing skylights, big fountains.
Yeah. Really trying to create an atmosphere.
Totally. Huge walkways, just this feeling of space and light. It wasn't just, a place to buy socks. It felt like the community's living room or something. People went every weekend.
Yeah.
You mentioned the Orange Julius. It was that kind of detail.
Right.
The little rituals. It was about being there, connecting.
And the sources really back that up. It wasn't just shopping. It was what sociologists sometimes call a third place.
Okay.
Not home, not work, but somewhere else you belong. It was built for hanging out.
Right.
And something maybe less obvious, our research showed tons of actual community events were held there. School bands playing, holiday stuff.
Ah, interesting. So really woven into the fabric of the town.
Exactly, which probably made it feel invincible for a while, even when things started, subtly changing underneath.
So let's fast forward a bit. It hits its peak, maybe the 90s, packed. You've got the big anchors, JCPenney, Macy's, Sears, like the retail royalty of the time.
Absolutely. That lineup signaled it was the place to shop in the region.
Yeah.
Serious status.
But then, the sources say the crowd started thinning out. Slowly at first, maybe? What were those first cracks?
Well, this is where it gets interesting. Even while it looked busy, the sources point to new competition popping up, like the early power centers.
Okay, like the big box places.
Exactly. Your Targets, your Walmarts, often in open-air strips, easier parking, maybe lower prices sometimes. They started peeling away some shoppers. And, even though it was tiny back then, you had the very, very beginnings of online shopping starting to whisper in the background.
Wow, already in the mid-90s.
Yeah, early days, but the seeds were there. So these pressures were building, kind of quietly. Before any big store actually left, the ground was shifting.
And the big one. Sears pulls out. That seems to be the moment everyone points to. What made that specific closure so impactful for Rolling Acres?
It wasn't just losing a tenant, it was losing a magnet. Our sources show Sears drew a lot of people, right? People who'd then walk past all the smaller shops.
Ah, okay, so it killed traffic for a whole section.
Pretty much, yeah. It left this huge hole, physically and in terms of foot traffic. And that really shows how interconnected these malls were. One anchor goes, and the neighbors feel it immediately.
Right.
And the speed of what happened next, that's telling. Store after store just started shutting down. Bang, bang, bang. It shows how fast things can unravel if a mall loses its core appeal and doesn't have a solid plan B.
Or the money to make it happen.
Or the money, exactly. So by the early 2000s, it was basically a ghost town, just a shell.
And then came the nature phase. The pictures from that time are unbelievable.
Oh, yeah. Haunting.
Broken glass everywhere, flooded floors, actual vines growing inside the building through the ceilings. It's kind of beautiful in a creepy way, how nature just walked back in.
It really is. A visual metaphor for decay, I suppose.
And then finally, the end came in 2017. Demolition.
Yeah.
Wiped off the map.
Gone.
But the weird thing is, it's not completely gone, is it? Those photos, those images of the decay, they're still out there. People are still fascinated by them.
Well, they have this afterlife online.
So we've traced it all the way. Opening day buzz in 75, the peak, the slow fade, the collapse, the haunting abandonment, and then demolition. What's the big takeaway here for us?
Well, I think that persistence of the images, even after the building's gone, is really thought-provoking. It's not just about, buildings don't last forever. It makes you think about the social life they contained, That mall's failure wasn't just business. It reflected real changes in how we spend time, where we meet, how communities connect or don't connect.
Right.
So its ghost life in photos kind of reminds us that these places, even when physically erased, stick around in memory in digital spaces.
Like markers of change.
Exactly. Markers of economic shifts, changing lifestyles, maybe even a kind of lost way of gathering.
That lands hard. It really makes you think about places in your own life, maybe places you grew up with that aren't there anymore or have totally changed. What stories do those vanished places tell you? Maybe about how the world shifted and what that means for how we build communities or physical spaces going forward. Something to chew on.